Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm happy I was able to play. I got a reaction to mosquito bite on my hand yesterday, so I'm not in peak performance. But I hope the levels were okay there. Let me see here. We got a couple folks in the chat. Aaron's here. Hey Aaron, what's happening, man? How you doing? Evan's here. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon to you, sir. How's it going? Going good? All right. We're gonna have some fun today. We're going live without a script or with anything like that. I had just an idea. When you you're playing a solo and you can't come up with ideas, maybe you've played all the licks that you've got. Hey, we got some more. Dean's here. Hi, Dean. I got your message. I'm doing okay. Just going 24/7 right now. Aaron's here. Good here too. Great. Awesome. Evan says, except the whole being stuck at work, I'm doing pretty good. Good. Glad everybody's doing great. We're going to talk about what happens when you kind of run out of ideas for a solo, or you're playing a solo and you don't really have any in the first place. What are you going to do? Maybe you got one good lick. How can you make the most of that lick? How can you take that idea and change it and make it fit the 12-bar blues, make it fit the chords, even if it's the same lick, and make it sound like it's something totally different there. So I thought this would be a lot of fun. Let's see here. Let me share this with you here. I just made a quick, where's my, there it is. I just made a quick tab to share with everybody here today. So this is in the key of C. If you've got your guitars, I'd say Evan can't, he's at work, unless they let you have guitars at work now. Maybe make it a little bit bigger here. There we go. There we go. So we have there's our little basic lick here. So we're at pattern 1. So we're going to be up at the 8th fret on the high E string. That's our C. And we're going to be working our way down the minor pentatonic. 8, 11, 8 on B. Slide up to 12 on this G. 11 on the B. And then back to 10 to 8 on G and up to 12, 8, and 10. So these, let me get a close up here. I'll get rid of that screen so you can see me a little bit better here. Okay, so close up here. We're going to start on the root note on the B string. So we're just coming down the minor pentatonic scale. Then we're going to slide up with the third finger to the 12th fret on the G string, to the 11th fret on the B, and then we'll go back to the 12th, but come back to the 10th fret. And then to the 8th fret, up to 12, 8, and 10. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. That's going to be our basic lick for this. And it's just an easy minor pentatonic lick that you would just kind of probably make up on your own. It's just the top of the pattern 1 minor pentatonic scale. And we're in the key of C. And I was going to use that backing track that I was playing there just for a minute ago. And you could play that twice. You got plenty of time. You got 4 measures to be playing that. But the next chord coming in is a F dominant 7th chord. That's your 4 chord. And you could play exactly the same lick again, but why would you want to play the same lick 3 times in a row? This time you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to change the lick to match the chord. Jason's here. I see Jason. What's happening, man? Good to see you. We're changing licks around them to match the chords here. So I'm going to head back over to, let's see here. Back here to the lick. Now take a look here at the measure 3. So I'm going to be thinking about the F dominant 7th chord here. We have an F, A, C, and E flat. F, A, C, E flat. F, A, C, E flat. Those are the notes in this new chord. And most people, they would just ignore the chords. They would just kind of play what sounds good, and that's great. But what happens if you can really change this one basic lick that you know to match the chord that you're working on? So let's take a look at what I did here. And then I'm going to go over to the chalkboard and we're going to show what's going on. Eddie's here. Eddie, what's happening, Eddie? How you doing? Good to see you. Okay, so now we start with the same note. To refresh your memory, here, let me go back. To refresh your memory, the first lick sounds like this. Then we do it again. Now, the new chord comes in. We're going to try and take that idea and change it slightly. So instead of going down the minor pentatonic scale, which is the root, the flat, 7, and the 5, I'm going to start trying to match notes that are in that are strong notes to the F sharp 7. So I played a C, C up top, and then I played an A. A is the third of this new chord that's come in. And then I went down to a G. Slid back up to the A, so the G's kind of in between the A's, and came back up to the C. Now, instead of ending the lick like I did before, now I'm going to jump down to do something that matches the F chord a little bit better. So this is, I've got my E flat, which is the flat 7, of the F7 chord, and then to the C, which is the 5th. So I'm going to just chord tone. Now you can hear that that matches that chord better. I'm using a ton of the chord, the chord tones. So from the beginning lick, now we're moving to F7, and I've got a really cool double stop that I'm going to end this lick on. Instead of going all the way down to the bottom of the scale, I'm going to go up and work my way towards the ninth, the F9 chord, right? So what are the notes here in this double stop? The F9 chord is at the 7th and 8th fret. This is otherwise known as the James Brown chord, right? And I'm going to take the two notes on the G and the high E string and slide them up 2 frets. Now here, this is the flat 7 for F and then the 5th, right? So we have the flat 7 and the 5th. Slide those up 2. Now we have the root and then a D. So the 13th. So we're going into a 13th type sound and chromatically walking back to the 7th chord, the 9th chord. And those are all even with each other. So we're going to slide the G string at the 8th fret up to the 10th, play the 10th right next to it, 2 strings over. So this is the G string and the high E string, and then work their way back to the 8th fret right there. And those match the F chord perfectly. So if I have my first one, now I change it. There it is. Can you hear how that resembles the first lick? It came from the first lick. I started off with that idea. I'm starting off with the same exact note. But as I go through it, I'm trying to change these notes so they reflect the strong notes in the chord. All of a sudden now you have a very tasteful lick, right? 2. And that fits right over the chord. Now we're going back to the 1 chord. Now in a blues, our next chord is our 5 chord, right? And let's take a look here. I'm going to bring this back in. Here we go. So now on this last 2 measures, I'm going to show you what I'm doing over the 5 chord and the 4 chord. We have a pickup up here. So if you look at the very top of the screen, there's our 8. We've started every lick with this root note, the C of the key note, right? Let's see here. We're taking the idea of our second lick, the double stop theme, and we're shrinking it because we only have 1 measure to get at this chord. So I'm starting on my C up here, the 8th fret. Then quickly I move up to my G notes. These are the notes. You know, at the 12th fret, if you bar straight across, let me show you. If you bar, lots of stuff to do here. If you bar straight across, those are the notes of a G chord. Here's a D, a G, and a B. That's the only 3 that you need. And our dominant 7th 5 chord is a G chord in the key of C. So I can go right for these notes. I went for a B, which is a 3rd in the G, and then I did our double stop that goes up to the 13th and back to the dominant 7th chord. So I took the beginning of the first one and the end of the second lick, and I made a new shorter lick that targets this G chord. And I'm going to do the exact same lick 2 frets back to go over the dominant F chord. There it is right there. So this one, we play 8 to begin. We start every lick with that note that ties them all together. And then we're going to go to the 10th fret Those are notes from an F chord. And then our 13 double stop to dominant 7th double stop. 10 and 10 and 8. So together. Very cool lick. You can hear, I'm not even playing the chords. You can hear the chords going by just by the notes that I've chosen. So the whole thing, basic lick. Now I'm going to take that basic lick and make it change for the F chord. Add the little double stop from the 13th there. Now I'm back to my first basic lick. Now here's the ones we just worked on. So a whole chorus of ideas, a whole chorus of licks that match the chords perfectly, and they all came from one pretty simple minor pentatonic lick, okay? So this should give you, all those people that are out there playing guitar who are always like, I don't have enough licks, I don't know enough. You can take the stuff that you know, and instead of paying attention on trying to memorize a bunch of licks and steal a bunch of licks, try to focus on the chords themselves, right? If you know more about the chords, you can start to change a note here and there to hit the strong notes and to play something that's really, really tasteful, really, really fun to play. So I'm going to see if I can do this over the backing track. So let's see here. Let's see if I can keep up to speed with this here. Let's see. Oh, just give me 1 second. There we go. All right. I'll make it a little bit louder. Here's my chord. There it goes. All right. So there you go. That was a whole bunch of different ideas here at the end that came directly from those little changes that we made to the one lick. So one lick develops into another lick based on the chords, and that gives more ideas for you to go down a bunch of different roads and come up with whole different style solo than when we started there. Somebody popped in. Who's that? It's Jay. Hey, East Bay Jay, what's up? East Bay Jay. Jay from North Carolina, tune in. Good to see you. Good to see you. What we're doing is we're taking some basic minor pentatonic solos and paying attention to the chords and the notes that are in the chords and changing them a little bit to make something that's kind of interesting and files the chords a little bit, has tension and release. And so that's what I did today. This week, we're looking at tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. So the Blues Elevation Toolkit tomorrow in the afternoon sometime, probably maybe around this time I might pop on. And that should be finished and available for everybody. We're doing a lot of stuff like this. Looking at chords, taking scales, getting better at that, getting the sound in your ears. A lot of my coaching students, that's what we've been working on. Not just being able to play it, but hear it. And I know you think, oh yeah, that's kind of a throwaway thing, being able to hear it. No, being able to hear how a third sounds and how the fifth sounds and how the flat seventh sounds and the intervals between them. If you understand those, if those are something that that you would like to hear again, you'd like to say, hey, I think while I'm playing this, I want to go up and hear the sound of a flat seventh, you know? If I play that and on the flat seventh, that creates tension. That's something that eventually needs to go back to the root, right? That's a nice way to end that tension too, is to go up into it. Now if I go a half step below it, that's the third of the next chord. If you can hear those things, and it's not hard to do, you just have to intentionally work on these stuff, on these things, to make sure that you you know, okay, every time, it doesn't matter what key I'm in, when I play the note in the pattern there, that's the third of a certain chord. It has a certain sound. It's kind of like singing harmonies. When you hear two people singing, one person sings the root, the main melody, another person might sing a third above it, and has a very distinct sound. You can think like More Than Words from Extreme. It has very distinct, it has a very pretty sound. Those sounds are on your guitar, and you can use them to create all sorts of cool stuff. So I just thought it'd be fun to do today, to come on here and take a lick and turn it into some other stuff. And so anyway, if you have any questions or anything, let me know. I'm going to take off in a few minutes. We're finishing up the toolkit today, and I'll see you tomorrow to unveil some cool stuff. I'm really excited to bring it to you today. So it's great to see. Let's see who we see. We saw Aaron earlier. It's great to see Evan and Dean. Aaron again. Let's see here. Jason was there. Eddie and Jay. Aaron says, answer my question. What time the toolkit will be available tomorrow? I'm shooting around this time tomorrow. This would be Eastern 4 o'clock. But I'll let you know. I'm still putting some pieces together, but I should have it finished by tonight. I think tomorrow will be a good day. We'll see. But I'll be out here tomorrow around this time, and we'll open it up. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay? All right, everybody. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I enjoyed playing some guitar, and I'm glad my hand, it's not quite so puffy. It's still a little puffy, but who knew a mosquito could take you out? All right, I'll see you soon. Jason said thank you. Thank you, Jason. Great to see you, man. Great to see you. I'll see everybody real soon. See you tomorrow, in fact. Bye-bye, everybody.